let's get into doing this electronic diagnosis and resetting of the service then. To do this, I am using a piece of software called Dealer Tool. I've made a separate video about Dealer Tools, so if you're unfamiliar with it, please go and have a look at the separate video that I did. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. But essentially, you plug it in to down here. You plug it into your ECU diagnostic plug, which is under this left-hand side cover. What you get from Dealer Tool, and by the way, I'm not at all affiliated with them, I'm just a user here, is you get this dongle which plugs in here. The other end plugs into your laptop, and then you download some software. So I'll move my camera so I've got it on the laptop screen the best that I can, get it on the laptop screen so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll run through the checks. Right, here we are on my laptop screen. I've just got the laptop on the seat of my bike, and I've got that set up the best I can for you to see. So just to reiterate, I've got the laptop plugged into the ECU diagnostic plug, which is under the left hand side cover with the fuse box, what have you. Then I've got the software loaded up here. So what you have to do first of all is switch the bike ignition on, which on the Scrambler is pressing the top of the ignition switch forward. And then once the ignition's come on, you then knock it into the run position. So I'll do that now. So that's the ignition just coming on. You can't see, obviously. And that's fired up. So then I put it back into the run position. Not actually starting the engine. You don't need to start the engine, but I've got it in the run position. So first thing I'm going to do now is, if I go to the ECU data tab at the top here, click on that, and then I will click on read ECU data, and what that'll do is check my bike and make sure that I've actually got this bike registered with Dealer Tool. And it's coming up with a message here which says ECU data was received, ECU is registered, which means that I'm all set up with this bike to use this tool. So I can close this back to the main page. And there are various menus along the top here of different things that you can do. I went through those in more detail in my previous video. So I'm just going to do two things. One is I'm going to run for fault checks. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th menu along here. Check faults. It's now reading the ECU for that. So I'm just going to check to see if there's any faults come up. And then the other thing I'm going to do is then reset the service interval, which means, you know, the little spanner icon that comes up on your dashboard won't come up for another year or another 10,000 miles. So it's just coming towards the end of the analysis. There's no fault codes showing there. Hopefully you can read that. Any fault codes which show in the window there. There's no fault codes, which means I've got no issues with the bike, which is great. So I will close that, back to the main menu, and then, you know, there's various other things that you can do, but, you know, look at my other video to go through that. And then I'm going to go to the Instruments tab, and that's where you can then set the reset the service interval. So the default there is 6,000 miles, which for some Triumphs it's 6,000. So I'll just increase that up to 10,000. So 10,000 miles or 365 days. So that'll be the reset the service interval. So rewrite instruments. So click on that one. It's sending that information to the bike. So it says at the bottom there, instrument service interval was updated. So now when you switch on the bike and it tells you how long to the next service, that's all reset. And so I'm good to go. And so it is as simple as that.